Hello, my name is Patrick Weatherspoon, and I'm here to talk about one of the famous things that goes on in Oklahoma State, which is Route 66, and a son and father here going through their journey to talk about what they do or what they experience going down Route 66 in Oklahoma State.
Time experience. Along the road, you'll get to see almost a century's worth of history while tracing the route that many used to migrate west. My dad and I took 14 days and drove the route from Santa Monica all the way to Chicago. Of course, there are more than 20 amazing things to see on this drive, but we gathered up a few of our favorites and took turns sharing them in this video. Recommendation number 1 is the Blue Whale of Catoosa, Oklahoma. East of the town of Catoosa sits this cement whale, which is one of the most recognizable attractions on Route 66. I was really excited to see it, and it lived up to my expectations as the whale was a lot bigger than I thought it would be, and you could walk through its mouth and climb up on its tail. You can't swim there anymore, but it's still a great stop on Route 66 for the entire family.
Our second recommendation is Seligman, Arizona. It's probably most famous as the home of the Delgadillo brothers. They are arguably the leaders in getting Route 66 back on the map after being decommissioned back in 1985. They run a barber shop and a burger shop, and you can still meet them and talk to them about the history of the route. For those of you who are Cars movie fans, it's probably the closest city to Radiator Springs you will find on the route. Also, if you're looking for a bite to eat, the Snow Cab Drive-In is the place to go.
Recommendation number 3 is Elmer's Bottle Tree Ranch in between Victorville and Barstow, California. I've been to the Bottle Tree Ranch many times, but there was something different about exploring it as part of our Route 66 drive. The bottle trees are basically pieces of metal welded together with bottles stuck on the end and everything from shovels to guns welded to the top. There are hundreds on the property, and this art installation is a fun place to explore in the middle of the California desert.
Recommendation number 4 is Cadillac Ranch, just outside of Amarillo, Texas. It's the home of the 10 Cadillacs buried nose down right by the freeway. They're surrounded by hundreds of empty spray paint cans from innumerable graffiti artists who have visited. So bring your paint can and make your mark. But be sure to take your trash with you when you leave.
Recommendation number 5 is Oatman, Arizona. After crossing over to Arizona from California, one of the first places we stopped was the small town of Oatman. It was instantly a favorite of mine as it felt like an old west town and there were donkeys roaming the streets. The town had a small mine you could explore, a jail, and an old hotel and restaurant. The hotel is especially notable because it's where Clark Gable and Carole Lombard spent the first night of their honeymoon. I really enjoyed Oatman because the town just had a lot of charm, and it was one of my favorite stops in the entire drive.
Recommendation number 6 is the Route 66 Museum in Pontiac, Illinois. This is one of the very best museums on the route, especially because of memorabilia related to Bob Waldmeyer, the iconic artist of Route 66. His maps and drawings and art are on display, as well as his famous converted school bus and the VW van in which he traversed the route many times. This is a stop for which you need to plan a good 30 minutes to an hour.
Recommendation number 7 is the Merrimack Caverns in Missouri. Missouri is known for its caves, and Merrimack is one of the most famous on Route 66. There are signs for it hundreds of miles before you get to it, and luckily the cave tour easily lives up to the hype. The tour walks you over a mile through the cave, which was once a hideout for the Jesse James gang, and has amazing formations with lots of underground water. Plus, at the end of the tour, they have a patriotic show that they display on the cave wall as well, and that's not something I've ever seen in a cave tour before.
Recommendation number 8 are the Black Mountains of western Arizona. After leaving California, you cross the stunning Colorado River and the surrounding mountains there known as the Needles. You then arrive at the ruggedly beautiful and vertiginous Black Mountains. As you travel the winding roads, you can only imagine the difficulty travelers must have had in the past moving west to start a new life in California. It was easily one of the most beautiful natural sights of the route.
Recommendation number 9 is Petrified Forest National Park. As the only national park that Route 66 runs through, Petrified Forest is certainly worth a stop. I would recommend spending an entire day in this park if you have the time, and I have a whole video on it in the description. Even if you just go in to see the Route 66 history, you'll still drive past the Painted Desert and can visit the old Painted Desert Inn before arriving at the exhibit. The Route 66 exhibit marks where the road used to run through the park, and it has an old rusted car on display as well. Definitely spend a half day exploring the park if you can, but even if you can't, come in and see the Route 66 exhibit so you get a better understanding of the history of the route through this part of Arizona.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that brief introduction about how what is to visit Route 66. Now we want to talk about some of the other things as far as food, where you can go to eat in Oklahoma State, and what they're good about their barbecue. The barbecue is great. The way different styles of barbecue, the different ways and types that they do their barbecue, such as the sauces. They use different sauces. They use a tomato base, and they just mix it up with different flavors. And they do briskets, they do ribs, they do chicken, and just a variety of different meats that they're known for in Oklahoma. And also some of their smokers. And they use charcoal grill, wood on top of the charcoal to smoke all their meats. And they use, in some of their sauces, they use a variety of different special seasons that they wouldn't tell anybody, but that's just something that I looked up, and I tried to find out exactly what those seasonings were, but I couldn't find it. So, but I'm here to tell you that I visited before, and the barbecue is delicious. So hopefully you guys get the chance to visit Oklahoma State, and then you can have the opportunity to judge it on your own. You can take you and your family, and you can visit Route 66 and some of the other main attractions that they have. And yeah, that's about it. So hope to see you guys soon, and you have a good time. Thanks. To mention the best time to visit Arizona State. The best time to visit Oklahoma State is during the fall time, which is months September to November. And the best way to travel to get there, if you're coming out of Canada, is not leaving through Toronto Airport. You go to Metro Airport. It'd be better to to go from Detroit Airport, Metro Airport, to Oklahoma State, and that way it'll be cheaper, and it'll be a quicker ride. It'll be cheaper because going from Toronto to Detroit would be a more expensive journey for you. But when the border opens back up, you just want to do some traveling with your family, you can always cross the border and just take the highway straight there. So, but if you did want to drive from Windsor to Oklahoma State, it'd take you about approximately 19 hours. But if you didn't, if you drove from Windsor to Toronto Airport, you can stop. It's much that you get London. You can stop in London. You get great food there, Kitchener, Cambridge. You can shop at Toronto Creek outlets. If you want to do something on the road, on the way to go to the airport in Toronto before you take that journey to go to Detroit Metro Airport. So in conclusion, I really suggest you visit Oklahoma State so you can visit and enjoy some of their great foods and some of the museums, and also check out Route 66. Thank you.